Hello everyone, welcome to Principles of Management class. We are from Group 9 and my name is Mingsu Kim and the group members are Mine Kim and Hwayun Choi. Today we are going to present about chapter 10 which is about leaders and leadership in management. This is our table of contents. Today we will first talk about leader and leadership, then power and empowerment, the transformational leadership, gender and leadership, and then we will apply the terminologies from the presentation to a company case, which is the VIP kit, and then we will conclude our presentation with some recommendations. The main objectives of our presentation is to first understand the importance of leadership in a company, second, to understand the correlation between the leadership and behavior, and then apply the terminologies in a case. We always see and talk about leader and leadership, not only in the business world, but also in politics, at school, in our daily lives. But do you know exactly what is to be a leader and what is leadership? Leadership is when a person influences others, inspiring, motivating, and directing their activities to help achieve group or organizational goals. A person with good leadership is influencing people to do something well or better, and a great leadership is when you influence someone to be the very best they can be. But what is a leader? Leader is the individual who is able to exert influence over other people to have achieved group or organizational goals. Leadership is the key ingredient in effective management at all sizes and levels of an organization, from top management, middle management, first line management. Leadership is not about seniority or just people with a high position in a company. It is when a person can influence others. When leaders are effective, their subordinates or followers are highly motivated, more committed, and high performing. A key to successful leadership is influence and not authority. With an effective leader, it can unlock people's potential to become better. Effective communication by the leadership helps employees to understand the business strategy, helping them understand and contribute to the achievement of the organization's business objectives. However, when the leader is ineffective, its subordinates do not perform up to their capabilities and are usually demotivated, leading to poor employee retention and causing them to be less productive than what they usually would be. There are many different ways to identify an effective or ineffective leader. So, for example, an effective leader will focus on the relationship with its subordinates, know and talk with them. He will empower them and recognize their accomplishments, and after analyzing it, he will give a feedback, either positive or negative, which will help them to improve in the future. An effective leader also learns from its mistakes and is always willing to learn more. Some forms that a person can identify a bad leader includes leaders without vision. Leaders need to influence and motivate its subordinates. So, a leader without a vision that he has to achieve, it would be just a blind path. Second, when the leader is a know-it-all, usually effective leaders are aware of their own weakness and of what they know and what they need to improve more. However, a bad leader is then the one that believes that he or she is the smartest and the best person of all and is always right. Another way to know a bad leader is when they fail to communicate with others. For an effective leadership, it is necessary effective communication. They need to listen to its subordinates. As an example of a famous effective leader is the Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz. Schultz have proven to be preoccupied with more than just profits. One of the initiatives of the company was announced was that Starbucks would be covering the college tuition for its US employees working more than 20 hours per week and who are enrolling in an online college degree program from the Arizona State University. The move follows others such as offering comprehensive healthcare and stock options that Scott has made to create a more committed workforce, something that is tough to do when it's a more low wage hourly workers. This is, so he said that these actions is not altruistic, this is business. And values are a big part of both the balance sheet and income statement of Starbucks. It is behind the performance. A famous case of an ineffective leader is Martin Winterkorn, a former CEO of Volkswagen. He has a history of fostering a corporate culture that is called cutthroat and insular. These actions might have contributed to the company's unethical and illegal installation of software that failed to accurately report emissions of its vehicles. The CEO claimed not to be aware of the wrongdoing, but he is also known as being a hard driving perfectionist who would carry a gauge while walking around to measure gaps between car doors, in relentless pursuit of securing the top spot among global car manufacturers. So he's perfectionist and exacting standards and criticize the subordinates may have very well motivated them to hide information in order to be able to keep their jobs, or they believed that it was allowed to cheat, and as long as it helped the company meet its lofty goals. When we talk about leader and leadership, they misunderstand and believe that there is only one kind of effective leader. But this is wrong, because each leader has a different personal leadership style. And just because they are different, it does not mean it is wrong. Each style determines how the manager chooses to influence other people and how they lead the subordinates and how they perform other management tasks. It is the way a manager chooses to influence other people. It is also a challenge for managers at all levels to develop an effective personal management style for the corporation. Some styles are coach, servant, visionary, autocratic, transformational, and transactional. In our presentation today, we will later talk about the servant style, the transformational, and transactional. When talking about leader and leadership, people often mistake leadership and management as the same thing. However, in essence, they are different. The main difference between the two is that leaders have people that follow them, while managers have people who simply work for them. Managers establish and implement procedures and processes to ensure smooth functioning and accountable for accomplishment. But as mentioned previously, leaders look into the future. They chart the course for the organization. They attract, retain, motivate, inspire, and develop relationships with its employees based on trust and respect. Leadership and management needs to go hand in hand. They are not the same thing, but they are necessarily linked and complementary to one another. To make it simple, leadership is about inspiring, and management is about planning. So, as mentioned before, as one of the personal leadership styles, there is the servant leaders, which is then they have a strong desire to serve and work for the benefit of others. A servant leader shares power, puts the needs of the employees first, and helps the people develop and perform as highly as possible and strives to ensure that followers' most important needs are met. A servant leadership inverts the norm, which puts the customer service associate as the main priority. Instead of the people working to serve the leader exists to serve the people. The aim is to achieve authority rather than power. The authority figure intends to promote the well-being of those around him or her. So, a servant leadership involves the individual demonstrating the characteristic of empathy, listening, stewardship, and commitment to personal growth toward others. A good example of servant leader would be the same as previously mentioned for the effective leader, which is the company's Starbucks. The company was created in a culture of openness and putting employees first. Based on their strong belief about the importance of employee engagement in building a successful business and lasting organization, It was important to top executives at Starbucks to instill a culture of servant leadership. Ultimately, they knew that how you treat your people is how they will treat your customer, which is based on Greenleaf 2015. Today, Starbucks coffee organizational culture is a key success factors in the business. So the company prides its distinct characteristic so that which build a competitive advantage and develop a consumer population of loyal customers. So the example as previously mentioned that Starbucks has been providing scholarship to its workers, it shows that Starbucks worries about them. Moving on, countries around the world has different culture and it reflects on the leadership styles of the leaders. For example, in Europe, managers tend to have a more individualist culture, and in Asian countries, the leader have a more collectivist culture. So in Japan, Japanese business are more likely to have a bottom-up approach to innovation and change. In the US, the leaders are often assertive, aggressive, and goal-oriented. And in the UK, diplomatic, tactful, and casual. British managers are often fair and willing to compromise. Despite the leadership style, a key component of effective leadership is the power that the leader has to affect others' people behavior and to get them to behave in a certain way. Legitimate, reward, coercive, expert, and referent power. Effective leaders ensures they have enough among to each type that use their power in beneficial ways. So, legitimate power is the authority a manager has by virtue of the position in an organization. Reward power is the manager's ability to give rewards to its subordinates. Coercive power is the ability to punish employees. Expert power is the power the manager has due to its intelligence, skills, and expertise. And last, the referent power is a power that is resulted from the subordinate's respect and admiration towards the leader. Empowerment is also a key part of leadership. Empowerment is the process of giving employees at all levels the authority to make decisions, be responsible for their outcomes, and improve quality and cut costs. Leadership, empowering leadership refers to a process of sharing power and allocating more autonomy and responsibilities to followers through a specific set of leaders' behaviors that entail enhancing the meaningfulness of work, fostering participation in decision making, expressing confidence in the work. When leaders empower subordinates, the subordinates take over some responsibility of the managers or leader and are given the power to make some decisions like its superiors, and it gives more time to concentrate and gives managers more time to concentrate on their pressing concerns. Through empowering its subordinates, leaders are able to enhance the meaningfulness of work, which help employees understand the purpose, goals, and objectives of the company, and make them understand the importance of their work and participation to the company. Second, it fosters participation in decision making. Third, it expresses confidence in high performance. It let employees know you believe that they have the ability to improve even when they make mistakes, and let employees understand that the leader believes in their skills and that they can handle demanding tasks. And fourth, it provides autonomy from bureaucratic constraints. It allows employees to make important decisions quickly to satisfy the customer needs. There are models to determine what effective leaders are like and what are the characteristics that make them so effective. The trait theory of leadership focuses on the leader and the traits he or she exhibits. His abilities to passionately articulate its visions that make people want to follow their lead. Some other examples of traits that can become an effective leader include intelligence, self-confidence, integrity, determination, and etc. In the trait model of leadership, it is focused on identifying the personal characteristics that cause effective leadership. Some personal characteristics that appear to be associated with effective leadership It is not the key understanding of leader effectiveness. It does not mean that effective leaders have all these traits and that all leaders that have these traits are successful. Research starting looking into more how effective leaders behave rather than looking out only at traits. So, in the behavior model, leaders engage in behaviors to influence their subordinates' consideration and initiating culture structure. In the consideration, it is when the leader shows the subordinate that they trust, respect, and care about them. Managers who truly look out for the well being of their subordinates and do what they can to help subordinates feel good and enjoy the work. The initiating structure, they engage in this behavior when they take steps to make sure that work gets done. Subordinates perform their jobs acceptably and the organization is efficient and effective. Initiating structure and consideration are independent leader behaviors. It can be high and low on both, or both high and both low.
This is Hwa-yoon. I'm going to introduce and explain transformational leadership. Transformational leadership is a leadership that makes subordinates aware of the importance of their jobs and performance to the organization and aware of their own needs for personal growth. It motivates subordinates to work for the good of the organization. Transformational managers make subordinates aware of how important their jobs are for an organization and how necessary it is for them to perform those jobs as best they can so the organization attain its goals. They make their subordinates aware of the subordinates' own needs for personal growth, development, and accomplishment. They also motivate their subordinates to work for the good of the organization as a whole, not just for their own personal gain or benefit. When managers transform their subordinates in these three ways, subordinates trust the managers, highly motivated, and help the organization achieve its goals. There are at least three ways in which transformational leaders can influence their followers, which are being a charismatic leader, by intellectually stimulating subordinates, and by engaging in developmental consideration. First, being a charismatic leader. A charismatic leader refers to an enthusiastic, self-confident leader who is able to clearly communicate his or her vision of how good things could be. The excitement, enthusiasm, and self-confidence of a charismatic leader contribute to leaders being able to inspire followers to enthusiastically support his or her vision. Their vision usually entails dramatic improvements in group and organizational performance as a result of changes in the organization's structure, culture, strategy, decision-making, and other critical processes and factors. People tend to think that charismatic leaders as being larger than life, but since it is about having a clear vision and enthusiastically communicating them to others, managers who seem to be quiet and earnest can also be charismatic. The representative comparison is Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. They both are considered as charismatic leader, unlike people's assumption that only Steve Jobs can be considered as charismatic. While Steve Jobs focused on running his company with an iron fist and getting results through high-pressure tactics, Bill Gates was considered as quiet and friendly leader, which seemed far away from being charismatic. However, Bill Gates is a charismatic leader because he motivated the followers through acting as a role model with clear visions and goals with enthusiasm, and communicated them to subordinates, which made them compete with each other to put their efforts to mirror Bill Gates. The second factor is stimulating subordinates intellectually. This is the behavior a leader engages in to make followers aware of problems and views these problems in new ways, consistent with the leader's vision. Here, managers openly share information with their subordinates so they are aware of problems with the need of change. The transformational manager's intellectual stimulate leads subordinates to view problems as challenges that they can and will meet and conquer. The manager engages and empowers subordinates to take personal responsibility for helping to solve problems. The last factor is developmental consideration. This is a behavior a leader engages in to support and encourage followers and help them develop and grow on the job. It demonstrates true concern for the well-being of subordinates, but also go one step further, which means that the manager goes out of their way to support and encourage subordinates, giving them opportunities to enhance their skills and capabilities and to grow and excel on the job. All organizations, no matter how large or small, successful or unsuccessful, can benefit when their managers engage in transformational leadership. Transformational leadership is often contrasted with transactional leadership because in many times transformational leadership includes transactional leadership. Transactional leadership is leadership that motivates subordinates by rewarding them for high performance and reprimanding them for low performance. Managers who effectively influence subordinates to achieve goals, yet do not seem to be making the kind of dramatic changes that are part of transformational leadership, are engaging in transactional leadership. That is, transformational leadership has a bigger picture rather than merely rewarding or reprimanding subordinates. The bigger picture includes considerations such as how much better things could be in their organization, how much more their subordinates are capable of achieving, and how important it is to treat their subordinates with respect and help them reach their full potential. Research, Research has found that when leaders engage in transformational leadership, their subordinates tend to have higher levels of job satisfaction and performance. Additionally, subordinates may be more likely to trust their leaders. This slide summarizes both leaders' and subordinates' perspective in transformational leadership. As I already explained, three ways, which are being a charismatic leader, intellectually stimulating subordinates, engaging in development consideration, are how to be a transformational leader. On the other hand, subordinates of transformational managers have increased awareness of the importance of their jobs and high performance, and are aware of their own needs for growth, development, and accomplishment. And lastly, work for the good of the organization and not just their own personal benefit.
This is Mina Kim, and I will continue the presentation from Gender and Leadership part. These days, many women is entering business or managerial field in job market. However, surprisingly, there are few female executives and CEO in society. To show in numerical terms, only 37 female leaders of corporates, including Ursula Burns, Xerox CEO, and Indra Nooyi, Pepsi CEO, are listed in ranking from Fortune magazine, the worldwide magazine related to diverse fields. The number of female CEOs listed in Fortune 500 has increased. However, it still seems a low value compared to number of male CEOs. Moreover, according to Unico Search, women executives in South Korea account for 3.6% average rate among 100 companies in 2019. From these two, we could know that there are barriers to prevent female get promotion for advanced position. The reason of barriers exist or the numbers of male and female leaders are differing would be stereotypes. The typical stereotype is that male managers are task-oriented, which is focused on the company tasks and also straightforward toward work. On the other hand, female managers are relationship-oriented, which is concentrated on interpersonal relations and supportive. However, those are just prejudice, since male leaders could be relationships-oriented leaders, and vice versa, which means each individual's task behaviors are not decided genders. Female leaders might have participative leadership, which is a type of leadership that seeks to involve subordinates in the decision-making process and actively reflect their opinions, and it appears in women rather than the male leaders. There are typical two reasons for understanding this aspect. First reason is that subordinates are unfamiliar with working under female leaders, therefore some is disinclined to accept their circumstances, or some has believed that being a leader is man's role, not female. To overcome these prejudices, Female leaders tend to be a participative leader. Another reason is that female leaders often have better interpersonal skills than male leaders, since participative leadership requires meeting subordinates frequently to discuss certain topics related to their tasks and make decisions through reflecting each other's opinions, so it is critical to have good interpersonal skills. However, it is not always corresponded to all female leaders, and it is just possibility that they could be act participative in consideration of each individual's personality. Therefore, the critical key point is that there is no big difference between men and women leaders, as personal leadership is decided by individuals' trait and encountered situation. Stereotype is not logical reasons of a low promotion rate of female employees, and both genders are equivalent to be effective to their teams and the company. Until so far, our team explained about leadership theory and models, and to apply the concepts, our team chose VIP Kit for case study, and I will discuss about case summary with company introduction. The VIP Kit is an online English education company, and the company founded by Chinese CEO Cindy Mi and co-founders in 2013. The main service is offering customized curriculum education from tutors who are American and Canadian to Chinese students in real-time video lecture. Currently, VIP Kids has 700,000 students and 100,000 teachers in their business. The mission of VIP Kid is to believe the company help to bridge different cultures all around the world and having interaction with high quality education. To discuss about background of the company, the CEO Cindy Mi, who was like to learn English since when she was young, encountered struggles from her high school math teacher since he did discrimination toward her with reason that she was from outside of a moved city. From that experiences, she realized that teachers could affect students' lives positively and negatively and decided to quit the school. And the struggles became as motivation to establish tutoring school with her uncle with her learning English inspiration. After she got teaching experiences, she got a master's degree and established VIP Kid with co-founders and devoted herself to build business model online English education services. How Cindy Mi builds VIP Kid quality-oriented service company. The company's recruitment system is that the company requires bachelor degree and experiences of education, and based on that, interestingly, the candidates must pass the training test. By testing with company's own assessment, the company has discovered applicants who fit well with the company. To discuss about its services in detail, VIP Kid offers customized education curriculums to customers by matching teachers. This is based on VIP Kid does not have specific curriculums, which means the company respect and accept the way the tutors teach students. For its teachers, bonuses and incentives such as overseas travel opportunity are provided to teachers. And lastly, the company holds various workshops, conferences, or other form of events for teachers to share ideas of education.
Hi, this is Minsu Kim again, and now I will show you why Cindy Mi is a effective leader. So Cindy Mi is a successful and effective leader. This is because, as mentioned before, even when she was young, she knew what she wanted. She had a vision of what she wanted to accomplish and what she wanted to provide to the students in China. So Cindy Mi, personal leadership style is she's focused on teamwork. She began the VIP Kit as a partnership, and since then she has a team to work to develop software to allow students to study with English speakers from the US. She believes that she believes in teamwork and is convinced that teachers have an outside influence on children's lives for good and ill. Also, when creating the platform for VIP Kit, she had faced a major problem in the beginning for the online platform. The platform that she had envisioned from the beginning was too big and hard to accomplish with the current budget. because it was too expensive. So she needed to understand the limited resource, and instead of blaming others and giving up, she focused on the most important and recognized the resource and reevaluated the whole situation. And with the help of the team, after communicating with others, they successfully created an online platform, the VIP Kit. Another factor that shows that Cindy Me is a successful leader is that even though the company is growing and have thousands of employees, she still tries to communicate with the teachers. She goes on speech, reunions, meetings, meet them in person, and talk about their experience, whether it is positive or negative. This shows that she's an effective leader as she's willing to listen to its subordinates and communicate about problems and how to improve. So as you can see in the screen, there is a picture of Cindy Me in the Central Park in a meeting with other professors. Moreover, Cindy Me is also an effective leader as she tries to empower her subordinates. Her goal is to keep empowering the teachers, as they have the freedom to manage their own classes according to their own style and personality. Also, with the VIP Tech public charity, which was founded by a former teacher of VIP Kids and founder of the CEO, the Sindemi, through this platform, it gives education to leader support, skills, and opportunities to break down barriers to prevent many children from accessing quality education. VIP Tech convened senior business, nonprofit, and government leaders for discussion on how to use technology to empower educators and create greater social impact. According to VIP Kid, the company said the following statement: "We know that the sky is the limit in education when teachers are empowered to be their very best, and we look forward to working with each of you on just that." They believe that through VIP Teach, they can empower educators to shape the future of teaching and learning. But how do they do it? So, through VIP Teach gives education leaders to support skills and opportunities to shape the future of teaching and learning. So, where education professionals are empowered to increase access to high quality education for all children through the effective use of technology, like in a VIP Kid online platform.
This is why, again, now I'm going to apply the case of the leader of VIP Kids, Cindy Me, to transformational leadership model. To recall, the first factor of transformational leader was being a charismatic leader, an enthusiastic, self-confident leader who's able to clearly communicate their vision. When seeing Cindy Me through this factor, she can be considered as a charismatic leader because, first, she is an enthusiastic, self-confident leader. Cindy Me herself has been highly passionate about learning English since she was young because she believed that English could make her see the world differently, according to one interview of her. She taught herself English and became fluent in English. Also, growing up in China, her bad experiences in her school made her realize the importance of teachers' influence on children's lives, which eventually made her start the startup company VIP Kid. Her enthusiasm was also proved by one of the investors of VIP Kid, former Google China chief Kai-Fu Lee. Lee said, "The moment we met Cindy, we knew that we had to invest in her company." Her enthusiastic goal is to help bridge cultural gaps between China, the US, and elsewhere while making high-quality education accessible and increasing interactions between people of different cultures. And this is highly reflected in VIP Kid. As the company expanding so rapidly, Me is setting up a research institute to work on developing best practices for educating children, which can prove that she stays enthusiastic and put increasing quality the first, even when the company is considered successful. Second, Cindy Me communicates her vision to teachers effectively through various channels such as VIP Kids training courses for teachers to communicate company's vision and goals and to help applicants get a clear idea about the set curriculum and how the teaching process should be done in the future. After the training, applicants should take a final test before the work, And this is where lots of applicants fail since VIP Kid only accepts 6 to 10% of applicants in a given month. When Cindy Mee visited the US and met American teachers, she shared a story when she had a conversation with a teacher named Tony. He said he recommended applying for VIP Kid to 6 friends, but none of them passed the final test. Talking about this story, he also said that he was very proud of himself passing the test, and he was also proud of Cindy Mee and VIP Kid because they are holding on their strict standard to hire the best teachers. This short story can explain how Cindy Mee's vision to make the high-quality education from professional teachers accessible to every student was well communicated to her employees. Workshop is another example. During the workshop, teachers can learn about student engagement, teaching letters, sounds and correcting errors, adapting to students' different learning styles, writing effective feedback, and maximizing students' output, which reflect her vision and strategies to achieve that vision. Lastly, she always tries to meet teachers, students, and parents personally to have face-to-face conversations with them and listen to their concerns and needs. The second factor of transformational leadership was intellectual stimulation, which is behavior a leader engages in to make followers aware of problems and view these problems in new ways consistent with the leader's vision. The representative example for this factor can be Journey, which is the semi-annual VIP Kid conference for teachers to learn and network in the real world. It was firstly initiated by teachers themselves and became a solid support program for teachers. During the conference, main speakers are Cindy Mee and other founders, US and China office staff, other VIP Kids teachers, and thought leaders in education. They talk about what has been successful and what should be improved, and any teachers participating in the conference can share their ideas about from their personal experiences as a teacher to ideas about how to improve the situation or solve the problems. Additionally, empowerment is another supplementary factor because teachers can improve company situation in their own creative ways with more personal responsibility based on what they had discussed at the conference. The last factor of transformational leadership was developmental considerations, which is the behavior a leader engages in to support and encourage followers and help them develop and grow on the job. First, Cindy Mee supports and encourages subordinates through workshop, tests, and conference, which means giving teachers opportunities to enhance their skills and capabilities and to grow and excel on the jobs. To talk about the workshop of VIP Kid as a representative example, while VIP Kid teachers all come to the platform with prior experiences in teaching, these workshops, exclusive to VIP Kid teachers, help orient teachers to the world of online teaching. To briefly mention about the real feedbacks from teachers who participated in the workshops, both teachers with lots of prior teaching experiences and less experiences could learn from each other and could more understand about the vision and goals of VIP Kid as well as what parents and students are looking for. They also said that workshops really helped because they could learn and deepen practical skills of teaching. Lastly, they agreed that workshop of VIP Kid was different because they could learn a new perspective on teaching and problems they may encounter. Secondly, about demonstrating true concern for the well-being of subordinates, she has been evaluated positively, which made VIP Kid record rank 9th among 100 different companies with best places to work in 2020 by Glassdoor, which is based on evaluation of employees. During the interview with CGTN America, she said meeting teachers, parents, and students in person is critical investment because it is important for an entrepreneur to know closely what customers and users need. And what teachers need is really important since they are the ones who make every 25 minutes lecture inspiring and unique for students. This shows her mindset towards her employees. However, at the same time, there is a minor problem with caring about well-being of subordinates because some teachers of color have reported experiencing rude, awkward, ignorant, or racist incidents with parents and students. The company has faced criticism from some teachers of color who say the company is not being proactive enough about addressing the issue. Lastly, Cindy Mi is transformational leader rather than transactional leader. If she were to be classified as transactional leader, she only had to focus on rewarding and reprimanding system. However, she is transformational leader because she has bigger picture. First, VIP Kid rewards teachers with incentives and supplemental income with about $21 an hour if working at least 20 hours a week, bonuses for working during holidays, and offering regular incentives. Also, VIP Kid offers trip to Beijing for teachers with high performance so that they can meet their own students and also Cindy Mi herself. Reprimanding system once hired is lacking, but since students can choose their own teacher, it is competitive and teachers who are not chosen cannot make enough money, so this can be also considered as reprimanding system. Not only this, VIP Kid has bigger picture, including workshops, meetings, conferences, and try to listen to teachers' voice and trying to encourage them and develop teachers, which makes it considered as transformational leadership, since these are about efforts for communicating better things could be, helping more their subordinates to be capable of achieving, and treating subordinates with respect, and helping them reach their full potential.
This is Minnie Kim again, and I will continue the presentation from this slide to discuss about Cindy Lee leadership styles based on gender. As I mentioned earlier, the company, VIP Kid, accomplished having 100,000 tutors, 700,000 students in current year, and also $760 million revenue in 2019. Given the company started with few students and increased to current position over 7 years, it is remarkable results and we could know that the company is growing rapidly. This implies one of the evidence that Cindy Mi did management successfully with her leadership in terms of that VIP Kid is a startup company. Based on this aspect, we could recognize that she has a leadership qualities give positive influence to the company, and moreover, she got positive external assessment as well. Last year, 2019, Glassdoor, which is world's largest workplace evaluation website, reported top 100 CEO list, and Mi was listed with employees' praise of her hard working, contribution, and inspiration. Also, VIP Kid were awarded as world's most innovative company in 2018, and also selected the same award in domestic. Including this list, Cindy Mi is represented in several reports such as Forbes, Bloomberg's, which means she is in the spotlight in the business field with her contribution and leadership. For discussing her gender and leadership, the question, did Cindy Mi accomplish it by her leadership with typical stereotypes of women leaders, came up. As mentioned previously, stereotype is just barriers to prevent career path for advanced position to female. Mi does not follow or not be shown as stereotypes that female managers are more relation-oriented. She has both task and relation behaviors focused to manage the corporation in each different situation. For instance, to provide high-quality education services, she introduced the company's own training test, but meanwhile, she has having the company events such as workshops or conferences to meet teachers and share or deliver messages regards to its education, as it is for service quality but also constructing relationships with tutors. Reflecting that aspect, she proved female leaders are effective to manage and operate the company with her non-prejudice disposition. For last part, our team make a recommendation to Cindy Mi and conclusions for our presentation. So far, VIP Kid and Cindy Mi are successful in the market with high volume of revenue and customers and named several awards such as Best Places to Work 2019, World's Most Innovative Company in 2018, and Most Innovative Company in China 2019. However, we found that there is certain issue with her leadership concerned on concerned on customer and teachers' relationships when we apply the models. As Hwayeon discussed earlier, previously, VIP kids faced with the problems related to racial discrimination. It is a sensitive issue to teachers because they should be protected from race disgust, and you'll be more likely to be touched if you think about current US situation. Unfortunately, including Cindy Me, executives not responded directly to these issues. It could bring about even worse results as the company is a startup, and teachers are critical human resources for its business model. To overcome or solve the problem, VIP Kid must build solutions such as company's policy or regulations to protect their tutors. Moreover, Cindy Me should come up with these issues with her transformational leadership. Because transformational leadership could make subordinates recognize how their role is important in the company, why the company needs them. If Me brings these issues with her leadership and emphasize why teachers are necessary or important to the company, and check their working circumstances constantly, employees, which means teachers, will feel safe regarding the issues and satisfy her action with the idea of the company deals with the problems without reluctance. In addition, they could get high level of job satisfaction. As a leader is key of enterprises, leadership also important for leaders' behaviors. Specifically, it functions as maximizing company's reputation, profits, and corporation goals for achievement. Therefore, effectiveness of leadership is also critical, since ineffective leadership falls the company to negative impact, such as losing direction for its achievement, and vice versa for effective leadership. From our presentation, our team addressed various types of leadership concepts and models, including nature, trait and behaviors, transformational, and gender. With these contents, we could know that leaderships take a different aspect in each models, with which traits should be possessing to be an effective leader, how managers can engage employees and companies' achievement, whether a difference in leadership between gender exists. Therefore, to be effective leader, employee who inspire to be a leader must consider leadership concepts and models that we presented and determine what sources are involved to their self, and based on that, which leadership is suitable for them. This is the reference list, and thank you for listening. If you have any question, please feel free to ask.